So if there's one thing you can do for Sarawak esports development to thrive, what would that one thing, what would that one wish be?
One word: inclusiveness. That this is a team effort. That everybody involved, has to put their brains together.
What is up, guys? My name is Charles Liu. Welcome to Biz Chat with Charles Liu Season 2. And we're still talking to real business people about real business stuff. But hey, why so serious? In this episode, we have Mr. Kelvin Pang, who is the head of National Esports Athlete Selection Task Force. And today we're very privileged to have him here with us. Now, Kelvin, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Tell us about Borneo Gaming Company and your personal journey in esports in Sarawak and then after that in Malaysia.
Apparently, it was meant to be esports marketing company in which that we bring in brands from when I say brands, it doesn't have to be just computer brands, which is what we call endemic brands. Sure. It also can be non-endemic brands. For example, I think one of the huge success stories back in the day was AirAsia coming into esports. Sure. With the whole inception of AirAsia Cyan, which went on to sponsor a Mobile Legends team, which make huge waves. I think they were one of the drivers of Malaysian Mobile Legends scene.
I want to bring us back to little Kelvin. To be a player or what, like caster? Like what
it was very vague at that time, okay. In which I don't know what yet, but I knew that it was a business.
So you were like, SITO can do, this one can do.
2002, I made my first money in esports, in which that the local cyber cafe boss was like, hey, you know what? Come to my office. I've seen a lot of our customers are craving for competition or for tournaments. Can you come up with a league for me to get them to come in every week? 2002.
Sure. Okay.
I said
okay.
that can you come organize a league for me so that we can retain our customers, so that in the end they come in every week to play a league and then eventually there's a winner. I said I can do that. So at that time I was paid 2,000 ringgit to organize this.
Back then that was
2,000 ringgit was huge, right? So that was where I started to say, hey, I can go towards this route.
Counter-Strike.
Okay. The red Counter-Strike. Okay. So that was where I realized that, hey, I think I can do this. I'm starting to find out where I can make money from.
I think a lot of times, a lot of these business opportunities is not so much about the upfront exchange of money. No. It's about the curating of your brand. I mean, for you, it's the Kelvin Pang brand. With things you do for free, it goes to build your brand, and you become more valuable as a result. And that's at the end of the day the business, right? I mean,
that's true.
To protect that brand that you have created. At what point did you pivot from Kuching to Sarawak to now Malaysia with the Malaysian jacket, with the 19th Asian Games Hangzhou 2022 jacket, right? So at what point did you make that leap to the national stage, and why did you go national?
This is where when I started to realize that whatever I thought of Borneo Gaming Company was too much of a far-fetched. There was like and then I've had so much challenges emulating what my West Malaysian partners are doing at that moment in time. So I decided to say, hey, let's just close it down, and that was late 2018. So you see, it was only 1 year.
Sure.
It was only the lifespan of Borneo Gaming Company was just 1 year. And I packed my bags, had to head over to West Malaysia to be part of the gaming company, and as well, and eventually went into one of the subsidiaries, which was Orange Esports, which is where I started to find my foothold.
That's when I got to know you as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Any plans to come back to Sarawak, your home?
I would say yes and no.
Yeah.
I would think that coming back periodically, coming back, for example, for this interview, and then to meet up with stakeholders of the current of Sarawak, just to catch up with them, transfer knowledge from there, just to what's happening over there. So you guys know. So that is where I feel my role is right now.
But never rule out any possibility of you eventually coming back.
Coming back for good?
Not sure for now, but
possibly. I mean, never say never.
Never say never.
Never say never. But I would still feel that there's still a lot to learn in even not only in West Malaysia but also in the region of Asia. In which I'm heading to Hangzhou, right? Soon. In which that I believe that there's a new level of knowledge that I can get from. In which that eventually give me time to process, and which is I'll funnel it through to whoever that needs this kind of information.
I mean, just for perspective, guys, for Anak Sarawak to be leading Malaysia, and then to Hangzhou, I mean, there are no highs and lows, there are only experiences, right?
I would say so, yes, experiences.
Okay, brilliant. Now, we'll go to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Kelvin more. Talk to you guys later. Back to Biz Chat with Charles Liew, with me, Charles Liew, and Kelvin Pang. So we're talking about esports today. Now this segment, we're going to focus on the development of esports in Sarawak in particular. Okay, so for a lot of the things you mentioned in the first part before the break, the Sarawak Esports Association, SESA, was founded in 2018, right? So surely that must help with getting things moving along on the fast lane. Because before there was no association, and now there's an association, right? So with government now committing to fund the development of esports.
Yeah, because when we talk about development, right? If I were to put my national cap on, with all this, a lot of traction, a lot of noise has been shown by SESA, which rightfully good stuff. A lot of programs, a lot of events. My question would come down to in terms of development itself, right? How many over the years? How many Sarawakian Anak Sarawak has been churned up through their programs that my side could absorb to the national team? So that is my performance indicator, right? So this yes,
got on it.
Unfortunately, I would say they were in the past history of the SEA Games or national teams, SEA Games and the Asian Games. There were 3 of them, which I got to know them personally, which they pretty much went through the big general leagues on their own. Like for example, there's this guy Nabil from Geek Fam, which is in PUBG Mobile. He went through the hard ranks from the public games and to be scouted by Geek Fam. We have this Ibnu Khaldun for Free Fire. He also went through the qualifiers by himself. And we have this Alvin Lim from League of Legends that it will be joining me in China, in Hangzhou for the Asian Games.
Sarawakian?
Sarawakian boy from Kuching, from Batu Kawa.
Oh.
So what is consistent amongst history is that they went through the hard way.
Did they come up through the association route or no?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because they went through because there's always this for every publisher there's always this in-game qualifiers.
Right.
The publishers are the platform for them to to achieve results, and for organizations to scout them. Hey, this guy is good. Try out for my organization and stuff like that.
Sure.
So yeah, Alvin was previously attached with one of biggest organizations in Malaysia as well, which is Sem9. But Sem9, unfortunately, they just had to close down their League of Legends division. But his achievement has not been ignored yet.
Sure.
In which that just so happened that host China for these Asian Games picked League of Legends as part of their game titles this year, so we got him back. He was part of the SEA Games team previously.
Sure. Yeah. I think like for the 3 representatives from Sarawak that you mentioned just now, because anyone could actually leverage on the qualifiers in game or whatever to actually get themselves qualified and get scouted. So to what extent would association be involved in something like that?
Let me give you an example. Next year is Sukma Sukan Malaysia, in which Sarawak will be playing host. In which I'm aware that esports will be one of the game titles, what they call medal titles that will be competed. In which I think. With the association playing a big role in this SUKMA, in which that with Sarawak getting top 3, having being part of the podium, would accelerate these players. Eventually, when it comes to, for example, the upcoming SEA Games or Asian Games or whatever, or Commonwealth Games or even Olympics, I have a pool. From the standpoint of athlete selection committee, I have a pool to look into.
Yeah.
Apart from the regular the professional leagues like MPL, PMPL, I still have the SUKMA to look into.
Yes.
So, okay, where do I get this from? Is that let me just give an example. I've been following SUKMA a lot. 1992, 1994, around that range. There's this football player called Gilbert Cassidy Gowing.
Oh,
I remember him, in which he was part of the SUKMA team.
Right winger.
And then eventually he got absorbed into the state team, and not too long later, national team.
Yeah.
So I saw that I'm trying to emulate what happened in the 90s to esports right now. So having some knowledge in other sports has been helping my my decision-making process. What can we bring into esports? What can we get from traditional sports and input it in esports?
Sure.
Yeah.
So going back to the association, what do you think the primary role is?
Below SUKMA, I would say it's SUKSAR. Is that such a thing? Is that such a thing too?
SUKSAR, it's yeah.
So below SUKSAR would be, if I were the state association, I would be empowering other divisional bargains to prep for SUKSAR, eventually to SUKMA, to represent Sarawak for SUKMA.
So you're saying that's not happening now?
I don't see that happening. This is my own observation. If anyone could prove me wrong, I would love to be wrong. But this is from an outside perspective. I mean, me spending most of my time in West Malaysia right now to see that if I were to change things over here, this is what I would do.
I guess it makes perfect sense also because now you have a bird's eye view because you're in West Malaysia. So you're looking at things literally from afar, and you're able to see what's going on.
I think it's on another perspective where from the other bird's eye view is also like I would have a database of how many players in the national team, which players come from which state. And when Sarawak is an all-time low, I would start to reflect. I
love how you always go back to that. It's because at the end of the day, forget about the processes, focus on the result. How many have you produced?
How many have you produced? And I will put myself in that situation. How would I do it? How would I do it?
What do you think should be done for the grassroots level?
The clubs, they have communities. Like when we talk about Mobile Legends, we talk about PUBG Mobile. There are communities already exist in which that more empowerment should be given to these communities or community leaders.
So define empower.
Empower. Okay. Empower meaning to say that guys, you know what's best for your community.
Right.
Do whatever it is. We will be here monitoring. If there's anything that you need, just come to us.
The topic of esports is something that is close to my heart, and to have him talk about it means a lot to me because I think the development in Sarawak for esports can be a lot better, especially with Anak Sarawak. This is an Anak Sarawak, so I believe we can do big things with this guy, having some sort of role. Anyways, we'll go to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the future. We'll talk about the monetization, where the money is in esports for all of you guys tuning into this Beast Chat. Talk to you guys later. And we're back. And you're still watching Beast Chat with Charles Liew, with me, Charles Liew, and Kelvin Pang, and we're talking about esports today. In this final segment, in the spirit of Beast Chat, right? Business chat, right? So tell us, Kelvin, where's the money in esports?
The money is still within in brands. let's be honest, like how I mentioned that in non-endemic brands and also endemic brands, like when I say endemic brands, it's the Asus, the Asuses, the Samsungs. How do you intertwine esports with their brand? How can they correlate with esports? If you look at Mobile Legends, right now there's Maxis, or was it Maxis or Hotlink that's sponsoring the Mobile Legends? So you see, there's still money in there. This is where government, if the government supports gives funding, it will appease them. Say, hey, since the government is supporting, I think it's not that much of a risk. But then again, how long do certain parties want to keep waiting for handouts, in which that by right now we should be getting money, you should be seeking for funding, private fundings, all this, so that eventually when the government says stop, I'm done with esports, I'm going to go into, let's say, model sports or whatever, there is zero funding already. Where are we going to get this money? Obviously from private sectors.
So let me ask you one last thing about this money-making thing, and that is career opportunities. Right? I think, yes, we have seen cases where kids leave school and succeed. And a lot of times you and our discipline come from actually going to school, going to university, meeting deadlines, respecting your elders, respecting your teachers, respecting the principals. If they miss out all of that and they don't even work for money, they just ask for money from their managers or whatever, that's never going to work. So let me ask you this: to what extent is esports a career opportunity?
You strike the point over there in which that, yes, despite all these job opportunities, if they do not have the fundamentals of being an adult,
absolutely,
that's a huge problem, right?
Absolutely.
Remember, there's this one point, I'm not too sure, but during my swimming days, I was dreamt of going into the sports school.
So, guys, during his swimming days,
I was a swimmer back then.
He was a
state swimmer back then.
Okay,
now it's a different story. So I was always dreamt of going to a sports school to indulge in my sports. Yeah, that was my dream.
Yeah.
So if we do it in an esports way, all these 16, 17 years old, they can continue their studies, but at the same time have a proper strict regime on their whatever esports. Wouldn't that be better? That they learn the fundamentals of being on time, showing respect and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, if this doesn't happen, I need to do it the hard way, in which that whenever I do my courses, then I will always go straight to the point. First things first, what do you want in esports first? After identifying, are you sure you want this to happen?
Absolutely.
So I don't paint butterflies and rainbows whenever I give my talks. I'll tell them the worst case scenarios that could happen. So are you sure you want this? If you want, I'm all in with you.
I find it very challenging when I see kids using esports as an alasan to not study, to not go and find work. And I've seen too many. And that's why I feel like in my time in esports, right, one of my achievements is actually getting, for example, one of my first mage players, I think you know him. He found a job, and then he texted me saying he found a job, and then there's another guy who kept asking me, can I go into your second team? I said, I have no second team, I only have a main team. And then now he's working for Asia. So I feel like, a lot of times I would encourage them to make meaning instead of just go about and doing what makes them happy. I feel like you have to be realistic, right? Which is, are you good enough?
Yep. I think I completely 100% agree from where you're coming from, but I would add in another thing, that if you're not good enough as a competitive player, do you try managing or even coaching? Because some of the best coaches in the world may not be good in the game. I'll do fact finding. What do you actually want? What want out from this? And because not every road will be easy.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Now, final question, Kevin. So if there's one thing you can do for Sarawak esports development to thrive, what would that one thing? What would that one wish be?
One word: inclusiveness. Why I say so inclusiveness is that I think this is where that everybody involved has to put their brains together to make it work. There is no one single way to do things. That, I mean, I could be wrong, but I love being wrong. You see, that's a mindset I have. That I have all these crazy ideas about esports, but and I would love to share it with people.
I find it interesting what you just said, because you know how you always tell me about stories and different things, and I will always give you my opinion. You're always open to listen, and then sometimes you will just say, hey, that's a very good idea that you just mentioned or whatever. So I think it comes from sharing.
Having a growth mindset.
It's not always just keeping things to yourself, fearing that things will be taken away from you.
No.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that, because for me, why I'm always open to share is that, yes, I ideate this. You can copy every single thing I said, but you can't execute it.
Absolutely.
Because it's from it needs some heart and soul.
You know, this is what I always told my wife. You know what I told my wife? I said, if people copy us, I'm not worried. You know why? They're copying,
Never worried.
right?
Yeah.
But the moment they start becoming creative, then I'm scared out.
Yes, correct.
Because, hey, I never thought of that, and this guy is doing it.
Being inclusive, you know, having getting another genre, let's say Pokemon. Community leaders, they have their own thinking, you know.
Yeah,
we need to accept their thinking, accept their thought process. Why do you say so? I need to understand where you're coming from, right? Also, oh no, this is not how we do things here. We can't do that, right? So having this and then to have synergy amongst that. Okay, I mean, that's how we categorize things. Like for example, all these game titles, we have the MOBA, which is the Dotas, the Mobile Legends. We have the Battle Royales, the PUBG Mobiles, whatever. So these subject matter experts, they have been around for way too long already. They know what they're doing. But we are just here to steer. Hey, maybe for example, maybe. Formally, it's not wrong, not nice. We just steer a bit, just shake a little bit. But I see where you're coming from. So that's where inclusiveness plays a very, very huge role. If not, you know, why bother being democratic? Might as well, you know, just one solution to everything.
Brilliant.
Then we'll see lah.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yep.
Lastly, your message to the esports enthusiasts out there from Kelvin Pang.
Okay. I think it's very clear that I'm very easily reachable. That for you guys that who aspire to be in esports whatsoever, I'm only a text away or the DM away. That, you know, because there is no one solution. If there is one general one, will be perseverance, to persevere in whatever you do. I mean, I've been around for 23 years already, and I think perseverance plays a very huge role. But if you do need anything, just drop me a line, because every person is unique. That I need to know what you want, what you need, before I can give you an answer. But whatever the answer is, you need to persevere. So that's my main message to you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kelvin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Now, guys, we've come to the end of our BizChat session. Now, as you can see, this discussion sounds very different to our usual discussion. Why? Because every discussion would center around how mature the industry is. And at this point in time, the esports industry, I would say, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super mature and 1 being very immature, we're around about 3.5 to 4. But we're getting there. I think with me knowing a lot of the things that is about to happen, and with Kelvin knowing what's about to happen as well, I think there is hope. Out of despair will come real hope at long last. And so with that, we wrap up our episode. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for joining us. And we'll talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye.